now that Heathrow is among airports hit by delays after a cyber attack on a check-in provider. Flights have been delayed and cancelled at airports including Heathrow after an alleged cyber attack targeted a service provider for check-in and boarding systems. London Heathrow, Brussels and Berlin airports are all experiencing delays and disruption following what's been described as a technical issue affecting Collins Aerospace, which works for several airlines at multiple airports across the world. Heathrow said that passengers should check their flight status before travelling to the West London airport. Let's discuss this with Charlotte Wilson, Head of Enterprise Sales at cybersecurity firm Checkpoint Software. Hello, Charlotte. Thank you so much for joining me. Greatly appreciated. I mean, this is just yet another in a long line of these kind of cyber stalking, hijacking kind of episodes. Marks and Spencer still not recovered, and another one today. What can you tell us about this kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it's a worrying trend. We've seen massive increases in cyber attacks, but and actually the transportation sector in itself has had a massive increase, 24% rise in attacks on aviation. I think what we see now is how it's impacting us as people, just normal people going about our business, trying to fly to places for weddings, funerals, anniversaries. I think we're just seeing the impact so much more at the level of the normal human being doing their day-to-day activities. Before, it was more seen as a company problem, not a person's problem.
Yes. So what are the hackers trying to do? What are they trying to achieve? Because, I mean, just mayhem and chaos. What's the point of it? What's the purpose of it?
So, I mean, hackers are criminals, right? So they have different motivations as any criminal does. Sometimes financial, often financial, ideology, competitive gaming almost, nation state. There's a whole load of different reasons why someone would do this. Normally it is financial. So normally they have a lot to gain by attacking a system. Sometimes it's not even targeting that particular system. Mm-hmm. They just happen to find a weak way of getting in through a system. And what we're talking about here is a supply chain attack. So if you think of an airport, you've got a multitude of different systems layered up on top of each other. Mm. All of them have to work. All of them have to be kept up to date. And all of them have to be actively running and safe. It's quite a difficult thing. The aviation industry has been very, very highly on alert since the retail hacks back in March. And so they have been really proactive, but it just shows you what a complicated problem it is for them to have to solve and get right every time.
I mean, this is your specialism, but I have to ask sort of the key question, I suppose, which is it possible to cyber attack proof a company or an aviation authority? I mean, is it possible? Obviously, everybody wants to do it, and obviously people will take every possible, opportunity to try to do it. And even the companies who hadn't will now be on red alert, as you say, knowing the tremendous cost and the tremendous disruption involved when you do get cyber hacked. But is it possible to make yourself completely impenetrable or not?
I think it would be a struggle to think anyone can be completely immune to attacks of any nature, because there's so many reasons that it could happen, including such as just, in this case, this isn't the aviation industry fault. It's a system that they're using in amongst it. However, there are things you can do. I mean, if you're the easiest person to be breached, then you're probably going to get breached. If you make yourself much harder to be breached, then you're not as likely to be breached. So simply putting in layers of effectiveness at all levels. What I think is the trend as well is making sure, first of all, you have layered security, making sure that you train your staff as well to not let people in that shouldn't be allowed in. But then also, when we're bringing in technologies like AI, we're just about to speed everything up. And so this will be more important than ever that companies really think about the security at all layers, but think really of a prevention first. You want to try and not let it get in as opposed to contain it once it's in.
So companies who may have been sailing along, not really taking any of this particularly seriously and thinking, why on earth would anyone hack us? I know there's no point at all. Let's just ignore it, or let's just get the very basic measures in and not consider it. I think people are awake now to the dangers of this, aren't they, much more? And so are corporations and CEOs and everybody else.
I think so. And I think the other thing that we need to be aware of is that the people that work in IT, the people that work in cybersecurity in these companies, this is really hard for them as well. So they're greatly impacted. I mean, we look at a big organization as one big entity, but actually there's really hardworking people that are trying to keep everybody safe. And if it's your responsibility to be in charge of security and for whatever reason you get breached, that can be a really personal problem. That can have a real deep, devastating impact on that person whose responsibility it was. So I think we're all responsible to keep ourselves safe and keep ourselves as our passwords safe, keep our systems up to date, keep our phones up to date, as much as any company is. They've just got it on a far bigger, much more complicated scale.
Well, thank you very much indeed for talking to us this afternoon. That's Charlotte Wilson there, Head of Enterprise Sales and Cybersecurity firm Checkpoint Software. Let's go straight to